I have been holding and talking about Telcoin ever since the bear market bottom back in 2022. And the reason why is because I do think that this is probably going to be one of the biggest movers this cycle, especially considering the fact that majority of the supply is already out there. On top of that, we've been seeing the market really opening up for projects like Telcoin as well, which we'll talk about in this video exactly what I mean by that. But also, look at the market cap for this thing. Sub $1 billion, 503 million fully diluted value, $460 million market cap. The all-time chart looks like this, which tells us that this has a lot more upside potential for sure, but also the listing opportunities. Guys, this thing is barely on any top exchanges. I am telling you guys right now, we are probably going to see some pretty big exchange listings for Telcoin over the coming weeks and months ahead. And I say that with confidence because a lot more attention is now coming over to the Telcoin community. And the reason why, well, we'll talk about it. So let's start off real quick, just talking about the price action. Now, I'm recording this a little bit ahead of time. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. But if we look at the price chart real quick, I'm watching to see if we are going to maintain the highs from March of this or of 2024 as support, which is right around like almost a half a cent. It's 0.0044 cents. I'm watching to see if that's going to hold. It's very similar to us holding the highs going all the way back to the bear market highs of November and December of 2022, which were right around like 0.0032 cents. And if we manage to hold this, then we will target the previous highs and we'll most likely target that midline of about roughly 1.5 cents. If we could break over 1.5 cents, that would really start the Telcoin engine. But we still have a lot of room to go real quick, and we still have a lot of work to do as well. Currently speaking, we are just ranging. We're just consolidating on Telcoin, but the chart looks very good, especially on the weekly. I'm just waiting for this thing to really take a stab at these highs once again, because I do think that on the next real, run for Telcoin here, we are going to target these highs, but also target that 1.5 cent zone, which could definitely put it on the map to retargeting that all-time high, going all the way back to 2021 at around 6.5 cents. And from our current level to that all-time high, we are talking about an upside of 1,100%. So that's why I'm watching for Telcoin to really break out and target those highs, because it could set the narrative for Telcoin to just absolutely explode to the upside. Outside of that, though, let's talk about exactly why I do think that Telcoin is one of those projects that will explode and become extremely valuable. Number one, let's talk about how much work is going into the TELx app, which is like the bread and butter, if you will. So TELx just leveled up with Uniswap v4. New pools equals deeper liquidity, tighter spreads, and huge APR potential. And here are those APRs with the liquidity pools tied to them. And just real quick to really kind of explain how much this affects the network, or how big this is for the network as well, I wanted to utilize this post here from August 9th from Andrew_Pinch over on X. TELx daily stats, TVL 6 million plus. Volume 585,000, fees 1.3K, APR 27.38% average. So again, this is seeing some nice adoption. But again, when we think about the fees and stuff like that, is it like crazy? No, not exactly. But we will get there eventually as more and more people tap into this. Now, there's also the Telcoin wallet. There's so much happening around Telcoin that allows you to really kind of bank yourself through your phone, which we've talked about over, we've talked about in so many videos, addressing just how big that reach actually is. But this is a very good start, and it shows you just how much adoption there is for TELx for a project this size. Also, like I said, with a lot more eyes coming to Telcoin, I think that those numbers are going to grow significantly. Recently, Genfinity.io put out a great post, and it was actually an interview with the Telcoin team. This is Telcoin and the Internet of Money, Telecom, ESDR, and Digital Asset Banking exclusive interview with Telcoin, how billions of mobile phones could transform into the world's largest decentralized financial network. Because again, we've been talking about it with GSMA, which Telcoin is partnered up with. They've been partnered with them for years now. They are trying to bank the unbanked through mobile phone devices. because Telcoin actually offers a full all-in-one DeFi package through their Telcoin app. This is why I keep saying what Telcoin is actually doing is so underrated and so overlooked in the space, which I'm very excited for, companies like Generation Infinity to put a spotlight on this, because again, Telcoin deserves the attention. So very excited about this. If you guys do want to go check out the interview, you guys are more than welcome to. Generation Infinity did post it. It's about 34 minutes long, so definitely go check it out. There's a lot of great incentives in there to really kind of tap into if you do hold TEL. So yeah, definitely check it out. Outside of that, let's go over here real quick, because this is the recap of that interview from the Telcoin Association. So from telecom rails to stablecoins, the first US digital asset bank, here's what you need to know. The mission: Telcoin is turning billions of mobile devices into financial access points, safe, fast, cheap, for everyone, everywhere. The digital asset bank, built in Nebraska under the Financial Innovation Act, Telcoin's bank is set to be the first regulated crypto-native bank in the US. Stablecoin issuance, regulated on and off ramps, real trust for everyday users. The Internet of Money, Telcoin's vision: move money online like data. Instant, borderless, cost efficient. Telecoms become validators, connecting 7 billion plus users globally. Stablecoins and ESDR, local stablecoins plus global interoperability equals a 100x improvement over today's FX system. Think remittances, where $20 sent equals $20 received. No middleman. Real world use case: on-chain remittances, US to Mexico, faster, cheaper, safer than banks or legacy services. End users themselves can earn yield from the liquidity that they help create. Partnerships at scale. Through the GSMA, Telcoin is working with global telecom giants to build a shared stablecoin standard. Telcos already run the rails. Telcoin brings the money layer. And by the way, you can go and read this from GSMA, because they do break down exactly how stablecoin developments are happening with telco companies. And of course, when we think about Telcoin, Telcoin is the centerpiece of all of this. And the fact that not a lot of people are actually looking into this. This post has 4.2 thousand views, guys, or 5.2K. It just updated. But regardless of that, this is nothing. Almost no one is paying attention to how big this is. Telcoin is going to be a massive, massive player in this space. We will look back on this video at some point in time in the future. And by the way, it's not just Generation Infinity that's making posts about Telcoin. BSCN News, they have 1 million plus followers. This is one of the largest platforms out there for crypto news. Telcoin becoming a bank, it might sound crazy, but Telcoin might just be becoming America's first ever regulated crypto bank. Yeah, they are. They've been working on this since going back to 2021. By the way, we got a big update from Telcoin CEO. Big shout to BZ_crypto1 for this. We have, considering Telcoin will have a digital asset depository bank live in September and Ripple doesn't even have an approved charter, I'd say Telcoin is far ahead. Here's Telcoin CEO Telcoin Paul discussing the bank launch timeline. Check this out, guys.
So the bank launch, yes, we're planning to submit at the end of July. So that means that by the end of July, we'll be able to show $22.6 million in the bank and show all of the different customer agreements and all the different paperwork that we have to do to submit to fulfill the conditions of the charter. That's our target. We're hoping then by the end of by the end of August, we receive the charter and then we can turn on operations, and by the end of September. That's our plan. We probably, there's a couple different steps to the rollout. We can most likely initially turn on where we're just wholesale minting for the Telcoin wallet, right? Or making them available. The second is turning on the actual bank account numbers in the U.S. connected to for all U.S. resident users of V5. So the V5 release will coincide with the launch of the bank, but the bank will actually launch first, and we'll have USD available in V4. Then we turn on V5. Now you have U.S. bank account numbers tied to the USD balance in the U.S. at least, and then the third step is releasing the kind of the basically the US bank, our version of like Circle Mint, right? The business bank account where we'll open it up to applications for business accounts. But from day one, though, we can start pitching to exchanges and other partners and blockchain partners for on them. But yeah, we initially are hoping that.
So yeah, when we think about this timeline, it feels very, very good to be a TEL holder. With the bank expected to go live sometime around September, guys, this could be the perfect timeline for Telcoin to be so much bigger than it was back in 2021. Now, when we think about that, right, everyone keeps asking me about my price prediction for Telcoin this cycle. Just going right off the rip, for 3 projects out there: Bitcoin Cash, HBAR, and Avalanche. This is their current market cap, by the way, not their all-time highs. Current market cap. Avalanche, $9.91 billion in market cap. An upside of 21x for Telcoin, 10.5 cents roughly. HBAR, $10.24 billion in market cap. Upside of 21.83x, 11 cents for Telcoin. Bitcoin Cash, $11.18 billion in market cap. Upside of almost 24x, 12 cents. Here's the question. Where do I think Telcoin is going to go? Do I think that one of these price targets are achievable? Yeah, I actually think that all 3 of them are, believe it or not. But initially, what I'm really looking at is I'm going down the list here, and I'm looking at the top 100. Just starting off with AB, right? Well, if we add the market cap of AB, it's only an upside of like 50%, $704 million market cap. That's a good start, right? And by the way, we could just go down the list here if we really wanted to go and look at almost every single one of these top positions. Like, for an example, let's start off with like the top 50. And I don't think that this is actually up to date, because I think that the top 50 right now is, let me just check it real quick. Yeah, top 50 is Render. They were, saying ICP. If we're looking at this logically, okay, we're just going off of Render, that would be a $1.9 billion market cap. That checks out. Upside of 309%, 2 cents roughly. It's a pretty good start. But I'm still not dead set on that being our top. What about DAI, right? We're looking at DAI. Where is that at on the list? Well, that's up here at number 25. Top 25 coin, almost $4 billion market cap. That makes a lot of sense. Upside of 809%, about 4.5 cents. Not too bad. What about Leo? Top 20, $8.8 billion. Upside of an 18x, 9.5 cents. You see how different it is just going up by 5 positions in the space. By the way, we're not in alt season yet. Most of these values will rise drastically. Just for reference, let's go back to the historical snapshots. Let's go back to, we'll just say May 3rd. Sorry, I meant May 3rd of 2021. Let's go to May 2nd. That's fine, right? Top 20 had $9 billion. Top 25 had 6.5. Currently, our top 25, and by the way, we're not even in alt season. We have just about the same market cap as the top 5 right now, or the top 25. Now, if we go and look at some of these later dates, we'll just say around May 16th, top 25, almost $7.8 billion to get into the top 5 or top 25. We're thinking about that. That's close to this $8.8 billion in market cap that Leo has. Where do I see Telcoin going? What logical market cap can I see Telcoin hitting this cycle? I honestly think that Telcoin can easily hit the $10 billion market cap level. That is a 20x. That's an 11 cent Telcoin. Everyone will say there's no way it happens, that I'm way too bullish. Think about it like this. Telcoin's about to become one of the first crypto-based banks in the space. They've been working towards this for so long. On top of that, we are continuously seeing major moves happen from Telcoin and the market advancing to help this become a reality. Like the OCC opening up more doors for community banks to partner up with companies developing stablecoin initiatives. Let's just go back to it, right? Here we have community banks can partner with companies developing stablecoins to foster innovation and offer new products. The OCC will review and update as necessary its regulatory and supervisory approach to ensure it supports innovations in banking and the vitality of community banks. This supports Telcoin and what Telcoin is trying to do. If we're thinking about that $10 billion market cap level, I think that Telcoin can hit this. My price prediction this cycle for Telcoin is 10 cents. Just 10 cents. Do I think that it can go higher? 100%. But I think that 10 cents is a very good start. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.